So disappointment, it's something that we all feel at some point in our lives. So is there a way to avoid it? I think there is. So yeah, disappointment can be over anything. Job, it could be a friend, it could be over a meal going wrong or something like that, relationships not working out. And no doubt disappointment is something that you felt. It is very much a human emotion. I think it could be one of those emotions that we've had a hand in making. A lot of these negative emotions, painful emotions, I guess, they're not negative because they are part and parcel of the human experience. You know, we've got to experience great highs to understand the great lows, and great lows to understand the great highs, to appreciate the great highs and things like that. What happens when we get disappointed? It all boils down to expectation. I've been contemplating doing a video on trust and whether or not you should actually trust anything outside of yourself. It's really important to trust yourself, but when it comes to trusting anything outside of yourself, whether that be a person, a situation, anything, whether or not you should trust that kind of aspect outside of yourself, I don't think we should, to be honest. And I mean, I've said this over the years, you know, to various people that have come into my life and gone out my life and things. And it's not to say that like I don't trust people or I'm just kind of wary, you know, but there's always kind of this level of like anticipating like how a person will react and things sometimes. So yeah, when it comes to trusting something outside of ourselves, we have this level of expectation, you know, we're hoping almost that this whatever trust we've placed in whatever will come to fruition. It will kind of play out exactly how we've kind of constructed in our brain. And it's all about that control aspect. You can't control anything outside of yourself. You can only control you as a person, as your thoughts and things like that. As soon as we have a level of expectation, we're immediately setting ourselves up for disappointment. It does go hand in hand with that. In regards to trusting people, I mean, we look to other people for guidance a lot of the times, but it's because they're reflecting something that we already know within ourselves. You know, there's that thing of resonating with someone with their words because it's something that we already know. It's just something that's been kind of reminded to us, reflected to us. So yeah, initially I was going to do a video on spiritual gurus and why you shouldn't trust them. So a lot of these ones with huge followings, for example, I think it's very dangerous to place trust within them because at the end of the day, they're just humans. And even this video, you know, what I say might not resonate with you, so you shouldn't trust everything I say. It boils down to that dualistic principle within life and things. For example, like I followed Teal Swan on and off for like a couple of years, I suppose, because there were certain things that she said that like I resonated with, but there are points and things that I don't like about her. I find very untrustworthy, and I find it very dangerous that she's got such a huge following. It's almost like people take what she says as gospel. So I'm not saying you shouldn't follow a person, you know, but just be aware that like just because they're saying certain things that you might kind of take to heart, you might resonate with, they might feel right, you shouldn't place your trust fully in that person. And again, this kind of boils down to situations and things. You should never place your full trust within a situation. You should always kind of leave that gap for things to not work out, for things to kind of fall apart. I think it's within the Buddhist belief and tradition that you don't get attached to things, and it does kind of follow into Gnosticism. This thing of detachment. Again, spirituality and things, you have to understand duality with everything. You know, there's duality to detachment. Yes, it's that thing of not getting attached to something, because once you're attached to it, there's like this level of expectation that that thing is yours and it's always going to be yours. And so with detachment, again, the dual side of that is being so detached that you don't connect with anyone, you don't connect with situations and things, because it is through connecting with each other that we grow as people, we learn, and yeah. So how do we get rid of that kind of expectation thing? Because it is very much second nature, you know. It kind of comes from when something feels good, you know, when something starts to feel right within us. It could definitely be like the ego part of our brain that kind of places this level of expectation, you know, because at the end of the day, the ego doesn't want us to get hurt. It's kind of that gate between our feelings and like the world around us and things. How do we lose expectation? I think it's kind of being aware of like what could go wrong. It's not to that point of like you're expecting the worst to happen, realizing that anything could change at any moment, that kind of thing. So yeah, to really get rid of that feeling of disappointment, to preempt it almost, I guess, as best as we can. You know, there's no surefire way of armoring yourself against disappointment. It is very much part and parcel of like learning and growing as a person. So to preempt it, it is very much that thing of letting go of expectation, you know. The best way to let go of expectation is to really be present in the moment, be present in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your body. Be aware of your thoughts as well, you know. If you've just recently met someone or something like that, be aware that your thoughts could probably lead down this path of like how things will look in weeks' time, in months' time and things. I always try and follow this quote, I am human at the end of the day, but like the past has happened, future doesn't exist, all we have is the present and being mindful. So there's all kinds of techniques that you can use to get back into the present moment. Breath work is a big one. Just focusing on your breath, that immediately brings you back to your body, to controlling something that you can actually control. So yeah, to avoid disappointment, avoid expectation as best you can. Expectation is very different to hope. You know, we can be hopeful that a situation turns out a certain way, or like a job goes within our favour. It's that kind of sense of realism, staying grounded. Yes, you'd like something to go a certain way, but you're open to the fact that it might not go a certain way. I think COVID was a big example for that. You know, none of us were expecting it, but it happens, you know. It's that thing that anything outside of ourselves is completely out of our control. What else? I think that's it. That's all I have to say on that, I think. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts or anything, just drop a comment and yeah. So later on today, there should be another video uploaded all about writing dialogue. So if you're a writer, stick around for that. Subscribe, guys, girls, non-binds, if you're not subscribed, and yeah, hopefully there's some little pearls of wisdom within these videos that you can resonate with. But again, hopefully no one ever puts that kind of trust in what I say. You know, we're all different, we've all got different journeys to walk, so yeah, hopefully that made sense. I don't know anymore. I think it should be about 3 p.m. The next video will be up live, ready for you to watch. Stay awesome, stay classy, be kind, and bye. Good morning. Good morrow. Reflect the so fly again. Totally lost my train of thought now.